Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Ray B. Rambo. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning, about 5:30 a.m., 5:32 a.m. if you are listening live. Just kidding, we are not live. We are just recording because this is only recording number 2, and we don't know what kind of crazy thing will come out of my mouth. So anyway, today was an interesting morning for me because I woke up at 3 a.m. today. Don't ask me why, but I did. And first thing I did was I got right up and I went straight to recording my morning video. And then I went straight for my run. So I was out running at actually 4 this morning. A little before 4, actually, maybe 3:40, which is unusual because usually I wake up at 3:45 and then I'll make my video. By the time I actually get running, it's probably about 4:40. So I woke up early today because I had a problem with another business I have where I do legal document preparation. The name of my company is called Legal Doc Guy. So if you are a person who is fighting over custody of your child, or if you're getting divorced, Legal Doc Guy can help you out. I've done other areas, things like unlawful detainers and other type of issues, small claim stuff. But to be honest with you, I don't particularly enjoy doing legal type work. But it does pay some of the bills, and there's people who need help, and I like to help them at low cost where they don't have to pay the high price fees for attorneys. So my company will help them out to be able to, get visitation with their kids or modify their custody or their child support, stuff like that. I work at a Palimony law firm, which is a legal family law practice, doing paralegal work, law clerk stuff, which is basically just doing what lawyers do, only I don't represent people in court because I'm not a licensed attorney. Not yet, anyway. Still trying to figure out if I want to do that in life. Taking the California bar has proven to be very difficult, and it's not something that I particularly enjoy doing anymore. It was something that I wanted many years ago when I first started that endeavor. Before I went to school, I was probably about, I'm 45. I was probably about 33, 32 when I decided that I was going to go to law school. And of course, I had no college education, so I had to start there. And so the first thing I did was I enrolled myself at Rio Hondo College. Actually, if I step it back a bit, first I had to get through and overcome all the naysayers. Now, those naysayers for me were people like my brother, my mother, sisters. Not so much my older sister. She's always been very supportive and very non-judgmental type of person. But everybody else, kids, that was the whole reason why I decided to go to law schools, because I was telling my kids, my older ones, when they're very little, that they needed to do their homework and go to college someday. And one of them made a smart ass remark about, why do I have to go to college if you never went to college? And so it started me on a long journey to shut that little kid up and, put my money where my mouth is. So when I had told my mom that I was going to go to law school, and, the first thing I had to do was convince her that I would actually do it, because I had a long history of deciding to do something and then not following through. In fact, I would usually give up within the first couple of days of getting a new idea. And I've had all kinds of new ideas. There was the time I wanted to be a life insurance agent. And then there was the time I wanted to be a real estate agent. And then there was the time that I wanted to, be a professional kickboxer. There's a lot of things that I thought I wanted to do and tried to do. Oh, there was a time I wanted to be a hairstylist. I actually went to Marinello's I don't know if anybody knows what Marinello's is, but Marinello's is a hairstyling school that was in the city where I live. And for whatever reason, I thought it'd be a good idea to cut some hair. And I think, in retrospect, uh, I just wanted to be around some girls, and there was a lot of girls in that school. And so I decided I was going to go and fake the funk. And I did that for about 1,000 hours. I think I completed about 1,000 hours. So if you're in the hair styling business, you'll know what I'm talking about. There was basically about 1,600 hours that you had to complete, and you had to do what was called the practical and the technical side of all that. Anyway, long story short, I ended up getting about 1,000 hours. But point being is I didn't finish, and I never became a sexy male hairstylist. That just did not happen. Why? Because I never had the discipline or the follow through to be able to accomplish something like that, especially at that age. I must have been about 20. And so I had to convince my mom that I was going to follow through on going to school, because she was talking about taking me back into her house. Because at the time, I had my own apartment, very nice apartment. I was living a very, what I thought was very nice, but turned out to be very mediocre life as a maintenance supervisor for a large real estate management company. And I was in charge of a 42-unit apartment complex. They were called luxury apartments, and they were pretty nice. And they gave me a free apartment, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. I made it look very nice, like very classy. I have a very classy taste. Most people don't know that about me, but I prefer to have very nice colors. My apartment actually had a color similar to what I have back here. I like these soft colors. They're easy on the eyes. And I would have a nice painting on the wall. And, I made it look real fancy for myself. But I had this girlfriend. And I didn't want to continue the relationship, but it proved to be very difficult to end that relationship. And I knew that if I was going to do this thing, that I had to go back home, and I had to focus just on going to school. And part of that was, because I was lazy. I mean, let's get real. I probably didn't want to work. And my wife makes fun of me all the time. She had this ongoing joke about me not liking to work. Because, I lived a very kickback life. And so, anyway, I was able to convince my mom. And, my mom's always been willing to take me back home. My mom would take me back home right now if I wanted to go. That's another ongoing joke me and my wife have. And so my brother wasn't easy to convince. I didn't convince him at all, but he was living in China, so there wasn't much he could say. And so I ended up moving back home. And then I started going to Rio Hondo College, which is in Whittier, California, which is where I'm from. And so I went to Rio Hondo College, and I just started convincing others that I was going to be a lawyer someday. And I said it with conviction. I mean, I was just telling anybody who would listen, yeah, I'm going to law school. I'm going to be this successful attorney, and I'm going to do blah, 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 X, Y, Z. And so I ended up doing Rio Hondo for 2 years. I never finished because I knew that I didn't have to finish. I knew that all I needed was enough credits. 60 transferable units. Most people don't know this, but in California, to go to law school, all you need is 60 transferable units from a junior college or a DeVry. I got some of my credits from DeVry University, which is a nationally accredited university. It's not even a real school. But I was able to get 15 transferable units from there, and then the rest I got from Rio Hondo College. I took as many courses as I could. As long as they were UC transferable, I took them. English courses, British literature. I think I took a math class. I mean, I took a PE class. And I used those credits to apply with the California State Bar. And I was able to get approval from the California State Bar to apply to law school. And it was a great experience. First of all, I loved going to Rio Hondo. They had fixed it up. They had done a lot of construction at the school, and the school looked nice. Had a new library. I mean, it was amazing. I met a lot of nice people there, friends. Um, I don't think I actually still talk to anybody from there, so they weren't long life lasting friends, but nonetheless, there were I met a lot of cool people there. And so what I ended up doing was applying at a couple of different law schools, looking for one that was affordable. Because at this point, the dream was starting to become real. And I got accepted to a small unaccredited law school that was out of a corporate building out of the Cerritos Auto Square. Now they had a real rinky dinky school when I first applied, but they were in the process of transferring to a bigger school, a nicer corporate building around the corner. And so my experience was actually inside of a nice office building, and they built a courtroom, and it looked pretty cool. It was only half a floor of the building. It was a pretty large building. It's a pretty large building, still there off the 605 freeway. And it's called Irvine University College of Law. And I ended up taking the baby bar, passing, and ended up graduating from law school after 4 years. I went 4 years in that school. I dedicated myself 4 years. And to be honest with you, I was having a child at the time, and I was pretty lazy about the whole thing. But it was a long journey. The whole thing could have went either way. I mean, when I was at Rio Hondo when I got started, I ended up getting drunk and got in this big fight with my mom. Of course, she was upset because I was drunk. And she ended up kicking me out, and I was out in the street for about 2 weeks, staying at a couple of different friends' houses. I think one night I may have slept outside. But I still showed up to class. I didn't quit because I knew that if I quit, that I just couldn't handle another failure in life at that point. I knew that's like, man, I'm doing the same stuff, getting high, getting drunk. But I knew that if I just stay in school, like I haven't hit rock bottom. And so I kept showing up to class even though I was dirty and I wearing sweatpants that were too big for me, and I just looked like a bum. And but I still went, and I was still a very charismatic guy. Or maybe I was just the class clown. I don't know. But got through it, got to law school, graduated law school, and I have not been able to pass the bar exam since. I've taken it 8 times, and I haven't been able to pass. And that's another example of just not dedicating myself and making sure that I'm dedicating myself and putting enough time aside and disciplining myself to get through the work, the process. Because it's all about the process, Like right now, what I'm doing with these videos, this is all about a process. I don't know anything about making podcast videos. All I know is that I was able to get these cool cameras, as you can see, and I got the cool little mixer, and I can make cool sounds, and I figured out how to use it. But one thing I noticed that when I purchased this stuff years ago during the pandemic, right when it came out, because I couldn't go to work because I had to stay home and I had to take care of my daughter and my mom and my son who was living there with me too. He was a little older, but he was about 11. He was in junior high, I think. Oh no, he was in high school. And I one thing I noticed was I was never really able to commit myself to making videos. I would make a video here and there, and it would be, nothing great. I would post them. No one would watch them. Just like right now. No one still doesn't watch my videos. Which is okay because I don't know if I want people to watch my videos. I mean, my videos aren't that good. And I still need practice with talking into the microphone and coming up with ideas and learning the process. Because there is a process with making these videos. I mean, I'm not going to just be a natural where I don't think there probably even is such a thing as a natural. When you watch your YouTube videos and you see people on there and they just seem to know what they're doing. Well, you don't. I know from a life experience that we don't see all the hard work that's on the behind the camera, on the back end, the stuff that they do to prepare their show, or the years of experience of being on behind the microphone and, building their craft. But one thing that I've learned from life experience is that that's exactly what is required, what needs to happen. I know that I need to keep going, making videos, keep talking, and then stuff's just going to come out. And right now, pretty much I'm vomiting out of the mouth. I'm just basically talking about whatever. And I'm going to pick up on things. I'm going to learn every single day what works, what doesn't work. I'm probably like on my Instagram, I make a short video, and a lot of the stuff I say is pretty safe. I don't really say anything too controversial, talking about how men need to man up and, take chances in life, believe in Jesus Christ, which is really important, by the way. But different things. And so I do all this stuff. I'm learning that as I continue down this journey of making videos, and it's more than just about making videos. And making content. It's about getting out a message, and I'm still, although all of it's in my head, it doesn't come out of my mouth. It's funny because when I'm laying down at night, I'm thinking of all these good things I think like amazing things that I think I would want to say. But of course I don't write them down. And sometimes I write them down, but even when I write them down, I realize, man, I don't even understand what I'm trying to say here. Like in my mind, it seems clear, but when I try to put it out on paper or on my notes on my phone, it's not coming out. It's not. It's just a weird thing. But I know that it requires consistency and moving forward, getting through the grinding, and get through the suck. Right now I'm putting out crap content, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. I'm going to get better every single day. I know that who I will be 365 days from now is not going to be the same guy who is today. Right now I'm, if I'm operating at a 1, in 1 year's time I could be operating at a 3. And then another year from there I could be operating at a 7. 2 years from there, I could be operating at an 8. And when you get to an 8, you're probably doing very well for yourself. If you're operating at 80% at anything, you're gonna be a pro, or you're gonna be getting money, or if we're just looking at it from the context of making content on YouTube and other platforms, if you're operating at 80% of your potential, you're probably making some money where you're able to be at least support yourself, right? But right now I'm operating at a 1, probably a less than 1. I mean, if we're really gonna get real, I'm not operating at 10%. I'm probably operating at a 0.1. At 1%. I'm probably operating at a 1%. Not a 10%, which is good because it's about the process. It's about the journey. And, yesterday I was, I thought I was running, but I think I was actually driving to work. And I had finished making a video just like I am right now. And it was really cool because I was thinking about how, man, that was really something. Like you made a video like I'm doing right now. And then you took the time while I was driving to find a 1-minute clip, a 1-minute clip from the 30 something minutes or 40 minutes that I was recording. And I took out a 1-minute clip, and it was about, the admiration you have for a coach, and how, when you're a kid, you might think to yourself, you really admire this coach, and, you might kill somebody for that coach. Right. It was a silly story, but the point is that I posted it. I wasn't afraid to post it, and I felt like I was on a journey. Like, yeah, I suck. I suck at creating content, but I'm on a journey of learning how to make content and to make it interesting and engaging and all that kind of stuff. Because I don't know the first thing about making engaging content. All I know is I consume it a lot. But I don't want to consume content anymore. I want to create content. And for me to have the expectation of myself that you're going to be good just because you started, that's ridiculous. That would be ridiculous for me to just put this down. I'm going to get rid of the mic and I'm just going to just ignore this and I'll come back to it in a year from now because I wasn't good on my first couple of tries. And that's exactly what I did when I first bought this thing. When I first bought this, that's exactly what I did. I quit because I wasn't good or I doubted myself. Or I thought, I'm never going to be good at this. And what did I do? I would put the mic down. All the potential, all the years wasted because I didn't have the courage to just make content and put it out there. And I'm really proud of myself right now because, I've been doing these Instagram recordings and I do them right before I go on my run. As I was talking before, I do a 3.5 mile run today I did it at 4 a.m. because I woke up early. I woke up at 3 a.m. today. Usually I wake up at 3:45 and I'm not running until about 4:30. But today I got up at 3 and I was able to get what I needed to get done with the videos. And then I went running. I was running by 3:40. And then I finished my run at 4:30. And now I'm recording. Actually, I had to do some work, actual work for Legal Guy. And that's another thing. I'm proud of myself there because I was able to solve some problems that were really, really, really stressing me out. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I just wasn't focusing and I was putting it off. But I believe I figured it out and I got it done. And so this whole journey that I'm on right now for the last 23 days of consistent running, I've been running consistently 3.5 miles every morning for 23 days. I'm on day 23. I feel like an alcoholic who just gave up, who's on the wagon and just gave up alcohol, which is another thing that I've done, but it's not important. But the point is, I'm on this journey. And yesterday, I think I was driving. I don't remember where I was when I felt it, but I felt like joy. I felt like a small glimpse of pure joy. And it was from the willingness to put myself out there and to not be afraid to overcome the fear of judgment, the fear of being laughed at, ridiculed, and told I'm dumb, or, somebody always has something to say, and people are going to hate on you. I expect to be hated on by somebody. It's kind of like when I preach about Jesus, I expect people to hate me for that. In fact, it says that the Bible says that the world will hate you when you preach the gospel. And Jesus says, just remember when the world hates you, when they hate you, the world hated me first. And that's encouraging because, nobody, either that no one's going to care about what you're doing. No one's going to encourage you. No one's going to, there is no one there in the beginning who's going to be like, "Hey, Andres, you're doing great, buddy. Keep it up." In fact, it's probably going to be the opposite. Yeah, that video was kind of stupid, bro. Yeah, I didn't really get anything out of it. I got a message like that yesterday from a friend. But he's my boy and I love him, and I'm not going to read too much into his comment. But I expect to get those types of feedback or that type of the type of hate that you might get from when you're trying to do something great. If you want to be great, You got to do something you never done before. And something I've never done before is follow through on anything in my life. I've never followed through on anything. But for 23 days, it's not really 23 days, but it's 23 days that I've been running. And 23 days that I've been posting videos nonstop, consistently. I have posted 23 days of videos, even though every video sucked. Or it wasn't that good. Or it just was what it was supposed to be. You know, it was, each video is from a guy who is, like the first video is a video that was at the level of a guy who has done one video. And then the next day, video 2 is of a video of a guy at the level of a guy who has only done 2 videos. And then, at day 23, it's at the level. That was my phone. Somebody liked my story. Thank you, Big Rich. I appreciate that. My phone is actually hooked up to my mixer here. So it's kind of cool because at one point I want to go live and I want to be able to put the phone number up. I'll do it like this. I don't want to do it, but the phone number will go up at the top over here. And that'd be kind of cool because then people can call in live on the show and I'll be able to talk to you and you'll be able to say, hey, what's up, man? It's JB Rambo. Oh, yeah, man. This is JB. Yeah, I'm JB Rambo, man. Oh, this is great. And then they'll be able to ask me questions just like you see on other people's videos. I can do all that. I have Bluetooth hooked up to my phone and then people can call me right here. And if anybody starts cussing or anything, I just push the mute button. And I got these cool little gadgets over here, like where I can, like if for some reason, things go quiet and I forget to say something and I'm like, duh, I know what to say. See? Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. But see, if I forget to say something, pretty cool, right? So, anyway, long story short, there's going to be things in your life that you want to do, whatever those things are. And I want to encourage you to do those things because the world is worse off for you not living your full potential, for you not going out and doing whatever it is that you want to do. I was talking to a friend. We're not actually friends yet, but I'm hoping that we'll be friends. But we go to the same church and stuff, and we've known each other a long time. And we had a nice talk, and, he was talking about how he wants to be a barber. He's an older guy, but he's nearing his retirement. Not really. I mean, he still has got a few years to go, but he has this thing he wants to do where he gives low-cost haircuts to kids. It's a very nice dream or very nice ambition that he has to do something to give back to the community and to maybe even get something for himself out of it, like in here, giving back to his community. And I think that I can tell it's something that he's been thinking about a long time. And it doesn't appear that he's made any steps towards doing that. But, I think he should. And I gave a couple of words of some encouragement. I didn't want to, sound insincere when I was talking to him, but I thought it was a really cool idea, getting a barber license and, cutting kids' hairs and giving them the $6 haircut, because haircuts are expensive. That's exactly why I cut my own hair. I got this mohawk at 45 years old. I'm rocking a mohawk because I don't want to pay the $30, $40 for a haircut. It's ridiculous these days. But I really want to encourage you to, if you have a passion or something that you're passionate about, something you've been thinking about, you can absolutely do it. And it just takes starting with the small little steps to get yourself rolling, to get the ball rolling. I've been using that strategy lately for quite a few things, and I feel like I'm getting some success with that. Little steps. Example, when I go running in the morning or when I wake up in the morning, I knew that if I just pop up out of bed and just start moving around, I'm going to wake up. And or when I actually start recording my video in the morning, I just record something. Even though I know it's not going to be good and it's going to probably just, that watch it are probably going to be like, oh my God, this guy sucks. But I'll just post it. Why? Because I'm just going to let the world know that every day I'm going to be posting something. And it's exciting I don't even know if people are just on my Instagram, they might just be flipping through it, like not even really listening to what I'm saying, but they're just going through they probably went through all 5 videos in like 2 seconds, doop, 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 to get to the next person. But it is a little bit exciting to think that people might be listening to what I'm saying and being encouraged by it. Maybe 2 seconds of my 5-minute video I might say something encouraging. Maybe I got one line in there that is something that's encouraging or motivating or inspiring or interesting. And then when I go running, I don't want to run. there's no way I want to go and run 3.5 miles at 4 a.m. But I do it every morning. And the way I get myself going is I just start. And I'll take these baby steps because I'm tired and I don't feel like running. And I'll just run like this. Super slow. Because I know as long as I don't stop, eventually I'm going to finish. And, my wife said something to me that was very interesting. We were talking about, because I coach at the UFC, and at the UFC, they have on the wall behind the mats, they have a slogan that says, it doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. And for months, I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, I get stronger. That makes a lot of sense. And then my wife said, no, I don't think that's right. She said, it doesn't get easier. It just gets more familiar. And at first I was like, shut up. That don't make no sense. And then after a couple of hours, and then the next day I was thinking about it. And then that was like 2 weeks ago. She said that to me. We had that conversation. And the more I think about it, and I was thinking about it yesterday, I was thinking about my run this morning. And I was like, man, you know what? I think she's right. I think it just becomes more familiar. By doing it every day, you know what to expect. And I know now when I get up, I know if I just get up and start walking around, I'm going to feel fine. I'm not going to walk around all sleepy, tired. I do eventually get tired like around 4 p.m. And when I still have to be working and then I'm driving home, like, watch out for me on the 10 freeway because I'm pretty sleepy by the time I get home because I'm waking up at 4 in the morning, 3:50 and 3:45 in the morning every day. And now today, 3 o'clock in the morning. By the time 4 o'clock comes around, I've been up for 13 hours. I'm pretty tired. And I still don't go to bed. I usually don't go to bed till like 9 or 10 at night. So every single day for the last 23 days, I've been getting about 6 hours of sleep, which appears to be enough. I don't feel stressed out. I feel good. I get my exercise in. I'm losing weight. I'm handsome. Look at me, how handsome I am, man. Look at this. Crazy handsome. And, I just feel good. I feel good. I feel good about myself. And I hope that other people can experience what I'm experiencing. And I really believe you can do that by following whatever it is, whatever goals you got. And just always give thanks to Jesus. That's my recommendation. I know that no matter what I'm doing, I got to give it up to God because God, all things are done through him. All this stuff that I'm doing, everything that I have, everything that we have in life is a blessing. Every single thing is a blessing. And God deserves nothing less but for us to be on our knees every couple of times a day, thanking him for all of our many blessings that he gives us. And I'm not saying I do that every day. I do my best to get into my Bible every single day. I do get in my Bible every day. It's rare that I go a day without getting into the Word of God. But I can do better with prayer and get on my knees and thank him for all my many blessings. Gratitude, such an important thing to practice. And it's a practice. just like everything else. It's a practice. And when you figure that out, that it's a practice, I think that's when the journey begins. First of all, you got to get rid of all the stuff that's in your life that doesn't add value. If it doesn't add value into your life, you got to cut it out. And I learned this from my wife. When I was drinking and smoking tobacco products and smoking pot and just being a waster, it was very difficult for God to work anything in my life because I just didn't want to do it. And then when I started going to church, I still couldn't stop smoking weed, or I'd go to church hungover and I'd get high before I went, and I'd vape in the bathroom at church, and I was just a mess. I was friendly because I'm a friendly guy, so it's not like no one noticed because I'm naturally a friendly person. I love people. I didn't think I liked people actually, but I do like people. I don't like everybody, but I do like people and being around people and listening to them and learning from them and hearing about their stories and getting to know people. I love that. And, God wasn't able really to work in me until I cut all those things out. And he did. I needed him for that. Those were the mountains that I couldn't move on my own. And through prayer and asking God. And sometimes I was just like, God, what, man, if you can help me out with this smoking problem, this drinking problem, I'd really appreciate that. And it took about a year, but he did it. Now I don't even have any desire for alcohol or tobacco products or anything. Now you put stuff in my face, and if I didn't keep in my prayer and think about God every day and that kind of stuff, prayer and getting into the Bible, being around good people. See, I'm getting tired already. But if I didn't do all that, I could easily fall right back into those things. And I know that. You have to always be on watch for those types of things, because I can totally go right back into being a waster, because I have it in me I have an addictive personality. I'm addicted to everything. Right now I'm addicted to coffee. And, I got to figure out how to cut myself off of that now, because I replaced a lot of those other things with coffee. And yeah, it's not as, I'm getting tired. And even though it's not as destructive and it's not destroying me like those other things were, it's still not healthy for me. Anyway, I was going to show you guys the number thing, because I really want to put the number up on the screen, but I don't want the whole world having my personal number. I got to create a Google phone number so people will just have my Google number and not my personal phone number. So anyway, well, it's already 6:10 and I have other things to do. So if you made it this far and you were watching my video, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing so and giving me your time. I see that as a blessing, and I hope that you got value out of this. And if you did get value out of this, please share, like, and subscribe, so that you can see more of my content, because I'm not going anywhere. And eventually I'll have the phone number up so that you can participate with me. We'll talk about Jesus, or you could ask me questions. If you got a problem, we could try to solve it. If you have advice, I'll accept it graciously. And, hopefully you can come on this journey with me, and we could all get something out of it and make the world a better place. So that being said, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, where we'll do it all over again. All right, guys. Stay holy.